kookaburras are going off in the backyard.
Assalamu alaikum guys. So today I'm just adding some new members to the front garden family, add to the collection of ornamentals. I've noticed this side of my garden, which is I would say is the cottage style, country style look, basically, or inspired section of the front yard, while this side is more of the Asian style, Japanese sort of inspired part of the garden. And to me it was lacking a bit of color. There's plenty of color, but I thought it could use a bit more color, so I've decided to add a couple of things just to sort of brighten up the place. So I bought another New Guinea impatient to plant in this spot. This is a sun-loving type or breed of impatient. They call it some patience impatience. It's a sun-loving variety or breed of impatiens. Usually with the impatiens, they don't tolerate much sun, direct sun. They burn. They like semi-shaded positions, but this particular one can cope with a lot of sun. I've got others which I'll show you. The good thing about impatiens, they flower pretty much all of the growing season, from spring to the start of winter, pretty much. Just non-stop blooming factory. This thing just does not stop. Instant color, easy to take care of. Just keep the moisture up to it. It likes moist positions. Doesn't like to be dried out, because naturally it's found near river banks from the jungles of New Guinea. That's the natural habitat of this thing. So it likes nice and moist, warm position, not direct sun though. So that's where I'm planting this one. And that's the one I planted maybe a month ago. It's a red one. The other one is orange. This is a red variety, and it's coping fairly well. It hasn't established properly. It has, but it needs a bit more time. And it's still doing fine. Usually if I had put a normal impatiens here, I would have burnt. We've been having 42 degrees Celsius weather here in Sydney, which translates to about 110 Fahrenheit. So very hot weather, extremely hot sun. So usually these guys would have burnt by now, but you can see it's doing fine. It's got a bit of wilting because it's still fairly new in this garden, but otherwise it's doing fine. And the other addition I've made, I couldn't help it. I noticed this beautiful hibiscus, double white with red center. It grows to 2 meters in height and 1.5 in width, which is perfect. It's not too high. I can easily control it and keep it probably a meter and a half. So you're talking about maybe 12 foot, between 12 to 8 foot, anywhere there is the ideal sort of size for this thing. It's a beautiful flowering shrub. You can see it's pure white with sort of reddish to sort of a maroon center. Prolific in flowering. You can see the buds of it are all over the stem. You can see the buds start from the bottom, and on each node, literally each node, each leaf has a flower bud. So very, very prolific in flowering. um, reasonably fast growing. It's a full sun to part shade, so the best position will be morning sun, afternoon shade. And yeah, it flowers for most of the growing season. So it's throughout summer. It'll flower throughout summer, which is, you know, for months, at least 3 months to 4 months of flowering, which is plenty. So that's going to go there to fill that sort of section next to that limestone. And the third addition I've made, I have made to the front yard collection is, yeah, you can see the colors really coming up now. Yeah, so the last addition I'm making at the moment is this little beauty. Couldn't resist when I saw it. It's a ground cover. You know, that's pretty much as high as it goes. According to the information on it, it's 25 centimeters. So it's almost a foot in high by 60 centimeters, 2 feet wide. So this is a bit of a ground cover. So it's 2 feet wide plus to about, you know, just under a foot high. But it produces these cat-like, fluffy, soft to the touch, red flowers, I guess. Very soft to the touch, like the cat's tail almost, or a fox tail. And very, very prolific in flower production as well. So this is gonna just sort of overhang over this rock here. And it will be just a sort of a beautiful addition, you know, just overhanging over this edge here, and it'll fill this section. It'll probably go over this brick here, and that's just meant to hold the mulch when it rains, because it's a bit of a slope here. So it's going to sit right in front of the red dahlia and fill that section there and overhang down to the ground. And yeah, that's a previous one of my older sun patients, as they call them. This one here, you can see it's this is a bit more advanced, and it's highly prolific in flowering, and it gives an instant. They're very vibrant in color, the impatiens. It's like a high visibility orange colored plant, very vibrant. And that's just loving it there underneath this ornamental shrub there. And that's how the plan is, to get a bit more color down there underneath those trees. And yeah, just I'll give you just a quick tour, and then I'll show you how it looks like once I plant them. I need to net those mangoes. You can see they've started to change color. They've started to change color, indicating they're getting ready to be picked. The ripening stages have started, and this is the time I usually cover them. Once they change color, I start bagging them with little bagging and netting bags, just to keep the birds and the bats away, because at this point they start releasing aromatics and sweet sort of scented perfumes, which attracts bats. But otherwise there's no issues at all with any pests, especially here in Australia. I've never had any issues with these things. No fruit flies will touch them. Birds don't touch them. I've never had an issue with birds. Even bats, I've never had an issue with bats, but maybe because I haven't found them. But yeah, I'm not taking any chances. I usually bag them at this point, because they, like I said, they start releasing their beautiful sweet aromas, and it might attract some bats at night. So yeah, that's the time that I usually bag them. Yeah, you can see this Australian native shrub, one of my favorites actually. I love native plants. They just thrive in any conditions to your local area. So I do suggest that you know usually go for natives in your area, in your country. They're hard to beat. They love the climate, your local climate, and they thrive. They thrive. You can see this one here. It's very soft to the touch with a silver leaf that stays evergreen or ever gray actually. It's not deciduous, does not drop leaves in winter. And you can see these purple colored shaped bell shaped flowers. The whole plant will be smothered in these miniature bell flowers, so you get that as an added bonus. You get that a few times in the growing season. And also my showpiece, which is my Tibouchina, they call it. It's a Tibouchina tree, large tree. It's about maybe 4 meters high at the moment. Not extremely large, but reasonably large. 4 meters high. So you're looking at 18 feet high. It started breaking out in blooms. It's a autumn flowering tree, fall flowering tree. You can see the buds are prolific. So we're at the end of summer now in Sydney, and autumn or fall is literally around the corner. So they're preparing for a big show in autumn. These things will just knock you out once you see it. It's just amazing. Actually, the whole thing gets smothered, covered in these vibrant purple, like bluish purple flowers. That flowers for a few months during the autumn or 4 months and into the winter. It's an absolutely beautiful tree, evergreen. It's semi-deciduous if it's dependent on how cold your region is in winter, and might lose some of its leaves. But for temperate to warm climate, it stays evergreen for pretty much all year round. And this is a dwarf variety of it. It doesn't grow bigger than that. And that's basically what you're dealing with. This is the flower that will bloom out of the bigger tree that I was showing you. This is a dwarf variety, but a similar flower, except the tree has a bigger flower. But you can see the color. I'll pick it and show you in the sun how vibrant it is in color. It's like a bluish, purple bluish color, extremely vibrant. So you can imagine this thing is going to be literally covered. You can see the blooms are just absolutely prolific on this thing. It's going to be absolutely covered in these bluish purple flowers for a few months during fall or autumn and into winter. So that's going to be a nice showpiece very soon. And yeah, so I just wanted to show you a quick update of what I'm doing in the front yard. If you like what you have seen, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to encourage us to make gardening videos, whether ornamentals or edibles in the backyard, and also recipe videos if you're also into that. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.